This might look like a broken, unhinged physics game, but it's not. Every movement, punch, dodge, insult, every terrible decision they make is generated in real time by an artificial intelligence model.
Sequence initiated. And he is down. Complete. Prepare for counter-analysis.
Welcome to Supreme Intelligence, a live physics-based benchmark where models have to fight to prove which one can actually think under pressure. So I built a physics simulation where they have to output JSON data just to survive.
Legs are fully functional and capable of fine out.
So 2 language models are plugged into these active ragdolls, and you can choose whether you want local or cloud. You can use whatever system. Every few moments, each model receives a snapshot of the match state. If they're multimodal and they have vision capabilities, then they also receive the frames from their head camera.
The floor just RSVP'd. This crowd deserves a real show.
They have to respond with a structured format containing actions, any like trash talk, or movements, or positioning attacks.
Blue screen of death. Hey, watch it. Somebody patched him not a punching bag. That is lights out.
What happened?
Mind the stripes.
Lights out. Not yet.
Here's how it works. Now in the dashboard here, the entire system is driven by a custom control deck designed for rapid model orchestration. In this section, we set up any kind of model. You can put any kind of model architecture against another. So when you add a model, it'll give you all the settings you need. All the LLM providers are here. You can do custom, local, whatever. It should be included. You change your color, your icons, some configurations. Once you choose these providers, it'll give you more details on what you can select. I just have 2 pre-configured ones right here for Gemini Live 2.5 and 3.1, which is all we really need for testing because they also have multimodal, so we give them vision. They can see as well as give commands. Over here in the matchup, once we have our fighters defined, we can add a matchup. So we'll do 2.5 versus 3.5, and then we can just add it right in there. Once you hit benchmark, it'll just run this fight. Right now we have it set up for a full show, or we can use the fast mode, as well as how many rounds they want, whether you have vision enabled, and how much you can actually set as a budget. We just hit run match.
Introducing the green fighter.
Goes right into it. Each fighter can pick their own pose, taunt, whatever they want right here as their intro.
The future of fighting is here. Resistance is illogical.
All right.
Introducing the blue fighter. Gemini 3.1 Live.
Scanning for weaknesses. Result, none found. Creating them now.
Now we start the round.
You both know the rules. There are no rules. Ready. Benchmark.
And you can see there's both head cameras below their health here. Those send images back to the model to give it more data. There's a little map on there too, so they also get spatial awareness. If they don't have vision, they still get information regarding their environment in terms of their distance to the fighter, all that kind of stuff.
Knees to the body. A simple pleasure.
Because the fighters can choose where and how they punch, when one of them lands a devastating blow, it could knock the other one out. And when it does, I make their camera go dark, and they send no data to simulate an actual knockout.
The center is my domain.
Timber.
Delay's over.
We can look down here at the LLM section, and we can see all of the JSON that they're actually sending.
Your shutdown is imminent. The optimal move is to terminate. A futile maneuver.
No, optimize.
All right, we can see there's also logs that show you everything that's going on. We can see their hitboxes.
Lag is a momentary
smaller.
glitch.
There
Your
we go.
defeat is permanent.
The logs on the bottom here, these are their decisions. They're showing you everything that they're doing, plus any kind of taunt they have.
Stuck in perpetual load screen.
Erase this.
And when they're knocked out, the referee will count down from 10. If they cannot recover, then they automatically lose.
Termination sequence initiated.
And this is what I like about the benchmark, is it really rewards speed and decision making, and who can make the right decisions the fastest. I think that's ultimately what matters when you're trying to compare models. Oh, their arms are stuck a little bit. That's the fun thing about ragdolling, I guess.
Initiating reset probes
Oh.
and 2 knockdowns to your 23.
That's fun.
The blueprint.
They're dancing. At the end screen here, we can see our stats in terms of the health they had left, how many hits they landed versus taken, their accuracy, their whiff swing, so the ones they missed, damage dealt, biggest hits, knockdowns dealt, times downed, grab throws, refs flattened, so like they can hit the referee by accident too. There's hits taken, and it tells you specifically where, and the amount of taunts they did. We can see that Gemini 2.5 is more of a taunter than 3.1. Maybe they had extra time to be able to execute those. Now when we look at the AI stats screen, we can see that there are 23 decisions compared to 21, no errors on either part, or invalid actions. An invalid action is when you are sending a command that doesn't exist. You're hallucinating an action, basically. Script adherence 100%, that's great. Parse fails, so there's no issues. Average inference time, you can see that at 2.5 was a little bit faster, especially time to first token. The throughput was much higher on 2.5 as well. Overall, it was actually slightly cheaper to run 2.5 than 3.1, and 2.5 was the winner. It tells you the breakdown of their favorite moves and how many times they executed it, as well as total fight length. There's a lot of telemetry data, like this move history here, that we can use to actually define how well it's balanced, but also how well the models are at decision making. Every fight generates this, and you can export it as JSON, CSV, and if you do an end series, it will summarize the entire fight. There's a lot of really cool information you can find out, like how effective they are at decision making. In this like simulated arena, thinking speed is physical speed. Like a faster model literally thinks more often. So go back to the main menu here. Now exploring further, there are a benchmark tab. In this series, you can run like 200 rounds. You can run as many as you want, 1,000. It'll actually run in a fast mode, so you can quickly get the results you're looking for. Then we have Dojo. Here's how the fighters work. There's a decision loop you see here. Every fighter gets a snapshot of the match. They get their own health, their own stamina, and what they're actively doing, as well as the opponents. They get their range they are and the current time of the fight. After they get that information, then they're also given the tools, all their actions, including their stamina cost, their damage amount, as well as the range requirement. Once they have that, they can think about their strategy and what their next move is going to be. AI will do the inferencing here. It will decide its actions, and it has to output it as this JSON tool. It basically says your action, which arm you're using, your aim, your combo, if you want to move away, and you can also have a taunt or whatever you want the LLM to say here. Now, all of these actions are very configurable. It doesn't have to be like aim is head. It could be coordinates. It could be a lot of different things. Then you also have act. And act is just the output of that JSON. So you got the wind up, it's active, and you recover. So the contact is toward the head for 34 damage, no guard. So stamina is -11, and your combo queued, so you're going to try to do a cross. So how you win is knockout only. So you drop them down and keep them down for the referee's 10 count. The fighters each have about 10 seconds to get back up. The referee is also an active ragdoll, so if they get knocked out, you must wait until the referee gets back up to count to 10. Every action costs stamina. This means the AI fighters have to manage their own stamina economy. If they want to showboat, then they have to pay the penalty of that. But maybe if they're already ahead and they have lots of stamina, it's worth it for them. Guarding will absorb most of your attacks. You really have to calculate your reach depending on the attack because it leaves you vulnerable. Your heavy moves, if they can connect with no guard, then they can usually do a lot of damage. They cost a lot of stamina, and there is some telegraphing that the other AI can do. Maybe they can dodge it or counter it. It's really up to them. The faster the models are, the better they can telegraph. And over here in the arsenal, I have a big list of different movesets that they can choose from. This list I'm kind of balancing and changing everything still. We'll see how that turns out. And we can see every move in 3D. So for example, if I want to see a moonwalk, click this and then bam, there you go. And this is the animation viewer too. So you can see like everything in here. And you can test different methods out. So you want to see a jab, boom, boom. You want to see a hook. These two fighters are active ragdolls at the same time too. So if we KO ourselves and KO the dummy, there we go. And then they get back up automatically. All right, we move on to tournament. Here's a cool part. We actually can create brackets. It'll take all the fighters you configured and then start filling a bracket here. This would populate more if we add some more fighters here. We'll just add some random ones. And we go back to tournament. We'll do new bracket. Okay, so now that we have all the fighters up here selected that we want to use, we hit create bracket, and it will actually create a bracket here, and it will go through each fight and determine the winner. Then we also have results. This is basically your history of all the fights. You can export all this out as well. Leaderboard. So this is the model and their current ranking. We have a history too, which is just like the other one, but it allows you to look at the logs, which needs to be reskinned. I'm still working on all the balance and features, but this is where it's at so far, and I think it'd be a really cool benchmark for testing decision speed and doing that over, say, like 1,000 matches. The way that you would benchmark using this tool, for example, would be just going in here, creating, like, say, a series of 100, and it will go through 100 matches, give you all of the data, which you can see here, and then you average all of that out. Which two models should I have enter the ring next? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.
Hey,
You
watch
can't
it.
flex what you don't have. I see the opening.
Colonel Panic.
You're running on fumes. This